So Project Diva X is the next installment in our the Project Diva series. We've had 3 titles in North America so far, this is a new game with a completely new set list compared to the previous games. But the biggest kind of difference between this game and the previous games is that this game has much more. There's a lot more meta game kind of going on, and there's sort of story. There's like a story aspect to it as well. It's more of a it's not just play a song, go to the next song, play that song, go to the next song, unlock another difficulty, play the next song. There's actually story progression. There's more like missions that you have to fulfill to kind of progress things and make things and move things forward. But the core gameplay remains sort of essentially untouched. We've added another one single more mechanic called the rush mechanic, which is basically when you'll see these rush icons appear, and when it hits, you just have to kind of rapidly mash the button really quickly to kind of build meter. But it's still the Project Diva that everyone has come to know and love.
So you said something about like missions, or?
Yes, I'll get into that a little bit when I show you the gameplay. But yeah, so there's more mission modes. So there's things that you'll have to achieve to progress the story and unlock new elements, and unlock new certain aspects of the game. Some of those missions, which are called requests. Some of the requests are simple, just like clear this song. But some of them are a little bit more textured and require you to perform certain songs under certain conditions with certain modifiers. So it definitely adds a little bit more sort of metagame to the aspect of it. So I'm going to switch to a different song here. Let's see, what was the other one that we can show?
Holy Lands?
No, we're not doing Holy Lands.
You can't be missing out on that, man.
So, like, where was it going? So like I mentioned that there was there's a story mode. So it's not really a story mode, but the game progression is driven through this sort of narrative as Miku and her friends sort of try to essentially restore light to the world. In this game, the world is broken up into 5 clouds. And each cloud is represented by a specific aura that they have to kind of explore as they move through the clouds. So the 5 auras are classic, cool, cute, elegant, and quirky. And so as they explore each cloud and perform songs within those clouds, they learn what it means to be quirky, or they learn what it means to be cool. And you kind of go through, because in all the songs in those particular clouds are like cool rock songs or like cute idol pop songs. And so by performing those songs, they kind of learn how to express those particular auras through the aspect of exploring them. And a lot of the stuff in the game has been, a lot of the cosmetic stuff that was in the game previously, like their costumes and the accessories. Previous games, they were always just simply cosmetic. But in this game, there's much more like metagame going on, where each costume has an aura associated with it. So if you're playing a cute song and you wear a cute aura outfit, you'll basically kind of apply like a multiplier to how many points you derive from playing the song. And so because of that metagame, people have to kind of think more strategically about what sort of parts are kind of changing about the characters and how they're performing. Because if you can either play it just whatever you want to do, however you want to do, but it kind of slows down your progression. It's important to kind of consider how you're putting each performance together, because if you build optimal performances, it basically generates more voltage, as the sort of in-game currency is called. And by generating more voltage, you push the game forward quicker.
That's it.
So another interesting aspect, which I'm going to record here next, is that we've also included a new type of song, which are medleys, which are basically like a couple songs in one. They instead of having these one-off songs, we have a number of songs kind of combined into one here. So this is the cool medley. Medleys in the game are essentially boss songs. So when you go into a cloud for the first time, you have to play the 4 bass songs, and once you've cleared the 4 bass songs, you'll unlock sort of the boss medley. And once you clear that medley, you clear the cloud, and you can move on to the next cloud. Oops, that's not the right button. That's the Japanese button right there. Switch between English and Japanese version.
Oh, circle.
Yeah, they always trip you up, don't they? Yeah.
Always throw you off.
So there's a rush with the new ones, the rush icon there.
Miku on drums. You singing at the same time? So there's a medley for every boss in the game, is that what that is?
Yeah, there's a medley for every cloud in the game. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So classic medley, cute medley, cool medley, elegant medley, and a quirky medley. So some of the songs in the medleys have made appearances in other Miku games to date, but they're usually, these are like kind of remixed, and since they're combined with their music, it's like a completely different sort of experience altogether.
Right. How many difficulties are there again?
So there are 4 difficulties: easy, normal, hard, and extreme. And so another new thing, so in Project Diva second, they had, during the chance times, if you cleared the chance time, it would basically cause you a special sort of event to happen. But in this game, they've changed the mechanic into where you basically, the characters go through these transformations. But I haven't enabled a transformation for this. But when they go through the and that's how you obtain modules. In the previous games, when you would you basically play the games and play the songs, and you get currency, and you take the currency and you use it to buy outfits in the store. But in this game, instead of a currency-based system, it's more of a they changed it to a drop system. So what happens is when you clear the chance times and you hit that big star, the characters will go through a transformation, which I'll show you up here in a second. What they transform into is sort of essentially random, but you can, depending on which outfits you choose and which kind of items that you equip your character with, you can influence where you're more likely to get like a rare drop or a common drop. So there's some gamification there as well. I mean, it just gives more replay value because when you play the songs, you don't know what you never know what you're gonna get. So it becomes this sort of like gotcha bone kind of mechanic. So I'm gonna drop this into the more. So that what we were just seeing was basically a full unlocked version, so I could access the sort of in-game stuff. But what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to drop you into basically, this is basically like 30 minutes into the game, 30, 40 minutes in the game. So we've played through the classic cloud, the very first cloud you have access to. And once you clear that first cloud, you have an option to choose which cloud you want to explore next. So you can choose from any 4, so it's non-linear. You can go to any cloud. And so we're going to kind of check out what it's like to kind of play through essentially a single arc. Okay? So we've integrated sort of the room stuff in here. You can actually kind of tap Miku right here. You tap her with your card, she kind of reacts, right? And it's actually really interesting. So you'll notice this is actually Miku in her classic format. You see her kind of standing here. You can actually go and change her. If you change her into a different outfit, like let's say I'm going to put her in let's put her in Sea Lily, which is a cute. You can see which R is associated with by the little icon there. The little cute star is cute. So I'm going to put her in cute. And her personality will change, and some of her dialogue actually changes slightly depending on what her active R is. So that kind of gives players can kind of feel like, what is cute Miku like, or what is quirky Miku like. So like here, if I tap her again, she has like a different reaction or whatever, right? So we're gonna go into cloud. This cloud request is the new thing. So here we are. We can choose any cloud we want to go to. Cute cloud, cool cloud, elegant cloud, or the quirky cloud. So we're going to jump in here, try quirky.
Those are all the songs that were associated with that.
Exactly, these are all the songs. So first of all, you can start with any song you want. So we can go and jump in here and pick any song we want to play. What's a good Quirky song. Let's start with this one. Look like I can just let it play. So go back to the gamification. So one of the big things that kind of happens as you progress through the game is the ability to generate voltage when you're playing. So right now I have, since I'm in the Quirky cloud, but I have a cute outfit on, right? A cute module on. But if I go in here and I pick, instead pick a, scroll down here to find a Quirky module. Let's pick this one. You'll notice that I have a voltage rate bonus that popped up there, which means I basically generate more voltage through playthroughs. And you can actually add accessories and different things and different combinations which add to that bonus and cause you to sort of generate voltage quicker and quicker, which is very important. Not so much important for the front end of the game, but it becomes very important later. And later in the game, you need to be generating voltage to push the story forward. But in the first part of the game, when you're just initially exploring the clouds, it's just you're simply trying to get through the songs. But voltage also determines how much voltage you get. Determines how many items drop at the end of the stage, which you'll see in a second. So we're gonna let this play through.
What do you mean by pushing the story forward in terms of?
Right. Yeah. So like as you get past a certain point in the game, you'll have to kind of start playing songs to charge the cloud prisms up, and the speed at which they're charged by generating voltage. If you only generate a little bit of voltage, they don't charge very quickly. But if you charge lots of voltage, they charge very quickly, and that just the more voltage and the more times you can charge the crystals, there's certain content that's like, oh, you've done this, or you've collected this much voltage to date, and more content, more things unlock as you progress. So. So you'll see right here, it's already I have a 20% bonus on this. It says 120% down here.
Yeah.
So that's a multiplier that's being applied to every time you hit a points here. It has this voltage counter down here on the right side. So the more multiplier I have, the more points I'm essentially getting for that. And these little ones with the little glow on, you'll notice some notes have like a little glow around it. Let's see if I can find it. Just wait for a second. Just wait, not yet. You'll see you'll see it when you see it. Not yet. That one right there?
Oh.
If you hit that, you get like an instant 5% boost on it. So that kind of thing, they've kind of added more mechanics, more things to kind of look out for.
Is that randomized, or is that always set?
I think they're set in the same place every single time.
Okay.
But this depends on the difficulty as well.
Right, of course.
So by clearing these, what happens is you'll trigger these. Like I said, there's more of a story progression in this one compared to the previous games. So like once you finished a song, you're going to get like a little cutscene where the characters start talking about, what it means to be quirky. So because we're in the Quirky cloud, we're going to have Miku and her friends learning about what it means to be quirky.
You can't show this stuff, right?
No, this is just for just to kind of get an idea what the cutscenes look like in the game.
So is this the first time they've had more of a story?
Yeah, they've never had any dialogue. Characters have never had any dialogue or anything. So this is actually really a challenging aspect. I think, so like as you mentioned, these are all licensed characters, and the interesting thing about Vocaloid in general is that they're sort of blank slates. And so people kind of project themselves onto the characters. So it's actually kind of a challenge to come in here and try to give them interesting personalities without offending anyone. It's been a real challenge. But it's actually very interesting as well. I mean, there's a lot of thought that's been gone into it, and because at the same time, we had all these, each character when they're in their classic style, they're kind of straight-laced, but if they're in the quirky style or the cool style, they have to sound quirky, they have to sound cool. So you kind of have to push the character a little bit to get it there. So it's been a very interesting challenge. So this is a new mechanic introduction. They're introducing gifts here. So again, you can give gifts, which affects the friendship, and friendship affects how fast you charge voltage again. So again, it's all the aspects of the game used to be very like kind of, well, there's this bit here and there's this bit here, there's this bit here, but now in Project Eve X, they've taken a whole bunch of mechanics and sort of finally melded them together. So there's this nice kind of clean progression through the title.
All feed into one.
It all feeds into each one, yeah. So that's basically it. That's the kind of the new, where it's going. There's tons of stuff that I could talk for an hour and a half about, but I don't think John's gonna let me talk that long.